Ja Morant and the Grizzlies are really doing it. They're winning. Like, them boys are turning their whole season around after the lengthy suspension that kept Ja sidelined for what felt like the longest. And at the time of this recording, the Grizzlies are on a 4-0 streak after beating the Hawks, Pacers, and the Pelicans twice. And with the exception of the Hawks, all those teams I just named are fairly above 500. So, it's not like they're just out here taking down the Pistons each game. So yeah, it's safe to say this team is heating up, and although their record on the season is still pretty bad at 10-19, everyone knows or should know this team with Ja Morant playing is no lottery team. But apparently mainstream media doesn't get that. Because here's a clip of what Kendrick Perkins specifically had to say about 2 weeks ago when we were nearing Ja's return to the team.
Level. That's how you win the audience back. Look, the Memphis Grizzlies are not playing for a damn thing anyway. They too far behind the 8-ball.
6-17 on the season.
Yeah, in the Western Conference. So at the end of the day, the only thing that they got to look forward is Ja going back, filling up the stands, getting back in good graces with the league, getting back in good graces with the fan base.
Now, as y'all can see, he didn't dog the Grizzlies, but he was just very dismissive at the idea of this team making a comeback, saying they're pretty much playing for nothing and they should just look forward to the increase in ticket sales with Ja's return. But, here's an updated clip of what Perkins had to say after Ja made his crazy debut on the season with pretty much a storybook type of ending. I mean, the man hit a game winner.
Last night, and that's the type of guy that can win you games all by himself. But Perk, do you think that Ja can really carry Memphis back into the playoff picture?
Hell no, I absolutely don't. And it's no disrespect to Ja because you know how I feel about Ja Morant.
Again, as y'all seen, he basically doubled down. Now I understand at the time they were just 7-19, but my guy, it's a long season. To be so dismissive at the idea of them entering the playoffs as if moving up to the 10 seed where they can qualify for the play-in tournament is just so impossible doesn't make sense to me. Hence the title and why I believe the media is wrong about the Memphis Grizzlies. And in this video, we're going to get into all the reasons they still have a lot of hope in making the playoffs rather than no chance. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments, what do y'all think about what Perkins had to say? And yeah, really quick before I go any further, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with another video. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Go ahead and sub. Also like the video if you enjoy. I upload quality basketball content and we're on this grind for 5K. So I most definitely appreciate if y'all help us out. But back to the video. Now, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. Numero uno as to why the Grizzlies can still make the playoffs is because Ja Morant has picked up right where he left off as far as performance. Listen, the internet can throw all the Ja Wick, totem pistols jokes at him all they want. But what we can't take away from him is the fact that he's a certified hooper. In the 4 games he's played since rejoining the team, he's averaging about 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists on 50% shooting from the field. He's even averaging 1 block and 1 steal per game just for good measure. But nah, really though, it's crazy the impact one man can have on a team. I saw a tweet the other day like a game or two after Ja was returned, and it just made me laugh. I'll put it on the screen. Now, of course, there's some exaggeration here, but as y'all can see, dude was basically joking on the idea that Ja's teammates seemingly couldn't hit layups in his absence. A damn layup, bruh. One of the highest percentage buckets you can possibly attempt. And again, it's hyperbole. Obviously, that's a joke. But, bro, overall, there's no debating that you just play with more confidence when the best player and the leader on your team is present versus when they're absent. When Ja is playing, everyone on the Grizzlies from the starters like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane all the way to bench guys like, say, Zaire Williams and David Roddy are able to play with a safety net. And that safety net is really just as simple as knowing as long as they play their role, as long as they make their reasonable contributions, then if it comes down to it, that man Ja can lead them to the win. Ja will take the wheel with his incredible skills on offense. Prior to his return, things weren't like that. On a nightly basis, they had to try and figure out who's going to be that guy for them down the stretch. And clearly, they never figured that out. Seeing as they were 6-19 before Ja's return. So yeah, it's no secret, Ja's the difference maker, but that was obvious. Moving on to another big reason all hope is not lost for this team is because it's a long season, and I hope everyone realizes this roster is genuinely solid. It's just they've had too many guys missing due to injury. Look, we're barely 30 games into the NBA season. That means there's over 50 more games to be played before the regular season ends. So yeah, clearly the Grizzlies, they're not in the greatest position. They're currently sitting near the bottom of the West at the 13th seed, but they're just 4.5 games back from the 10th seed where they would qualify for the play-in tournament. And if we simply look at it like that, which is reality, it's no reason for us to think that's impossible, which is why I'm partially surprised that Kendrick Perkins is so dismissive of their potential success. Like, bro, you played in the NBA, you know how long the season is, and when teams get hot, things can quickly change. Come on now, a couple major win streaks of 7 or 8 games, and boom. A team that we thought was guaranteed to be in the lottery conversation is suddenly in playoff contention. So yeah, but then on top of this, like I mentioned earlier, the roster is constructed pretty nicely. You see, the main issue besides Ja's absence is really just been the injury bug. You've got Steven Adams, who's out for the season, and then Marcus Smart, who just returned on Tuesday versus the Pelicans after missing 16 games. And then there's Luke Kennard, who's expected to return next week after missing about 19 games in total due to a knee injury. Now, y'all, I understand I did not just name guys that you expect to move the needle in a crazy way individually, but collectively, missing these guys can have a tremendous impact on your team. Marcus Smart had like 5 steals and a block in his return versus the Pelicans. He makes the high-intensity defensive plays that a team like the Grizzlies really needs down the stretch in those close games. Everyone knows he's a highly respected vet with plenty, ample experience in the regular season and even more in the playoffs. So if there's anyone you want on a team that's trying to make a comeback, it's him. And then, like I said, there's Luke Kennard, which is a whole nother asset in his own right. He's a sniper. And let's just say Memphis needs him. The Grizzlies shoot 33% from 3. They're just not great from the perimeter. So when someone like Luke Kennard, who's a career 43% shooter from 3 and who shot 54% on nearly 6 attempts per game last year, goes missing, you're definitely going to feel his absence. And so I believe when he returns next week, the team will only get better, starting with their leader, Ja Morant. I mean, we know he's already been balling as is, but the more spacing, the better when it comes to Ja Morant. The way he's able to slice into the lane and just figure things out when he enters that painted area should be studied for real, because he just always finds a way to score the basket in those scenarios. I remember watching him one time in person when they had played Charlotte, and bruh, the hype is real, but y'all already know that. So yeah, man, I'm nearing the end of this video, but you know, even though the Grizzlies are facing some tough odds, all I know is that if this man Ja leads them to the playoffs, I don't want to get too controversial here because it's really early. They still got a lot of work to do. They're 10-19, but if he brings them to the playoffs, it's gonna be a really interesting conversation as far as where people stand on giving him those MVP considerations. But you know, they're still really far from that point, so I'll lay off that convo for now. But yeah, that's about it. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, where do you guys stand on this topic? Can the Grizzlies still make the playoffs? Why or why not? And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Like the vid, comment, subscribe. I need all that, and I'm out.